I was not born into riches. My father, though a mighty king, did not hand me wealth on a golden plate. I was a young man with a heart full of questions, not coins. The palace was grand, but my soul was restless. Even among marble columns and royal robes, I felt poor not in things, but in understanding. And that is a poverty far deeper than any man sleeping in the dust outside. That inner emptiness was a cold that not even the finest fabrics could warm. I remember the night it all began, a night so silent, it seemed even the stars were listening to my breathing. I was on my knees, not on a throne, but on the cold floor of my room, whispering to the God of my fathers. My prayer was not for gold, nor for more soldiers, nor for vengeance on my enemies. I asked for wisdom, that was all, not because I thought it would bring me wealth, but because I trembled at the idea of leading a people with my own limited mind, with my own imperfect understanding of the world. The weight of the crown was the weight of responsibility, and I was afraid of failing. And God answered. He answered in a dream. But the experience was more vivid and real than any day I had ever lived. I was surrounded by a fire that did not burn, an intense light that filled me, and a voice like thunder and honey at the same time echoed through the skies of my dream and said, "Because you have not asked for long life or riches, nor for the death of your enemies, but for understanding to discern judgment, I will give you a wise and understanding heart." The echo of those words vibrated in my chest, a promise that was more valuable than all the treasures of the world. The next morning, I awoke changed, not because the room had shifted, but because I had. My eyes now saw what others missed. My ears heard the cries and joys hidden beneath the silence. Soon, people came from far lands, bringing treasures, gifts, not because I asked, but because wisdom attracts wealth the way a flame attracts moths. They came to listen, to learn, and they brought with them the fruits of their lands. Still, I was not rich. Not truly. Wealth is not measured in what a man has, but in what he can multiply. And wisdom, that's what multiplies everything. It transforms little into much, problems into solutions, and doubts into certainties. One morning, a dispute was brought to my court. Two women, both claiming to be the mother of a single child. The soldiers were confused. The crowd murmured, undecided, but I just watched their eyes. I saw lies and truth competing in their gazes. "Bring me a sword," I ordered, and the sound of my voice filled the silence. The gasp of shock in the room was louder than my command. The silence that followed was tense. "Heavy, divide the child," I said, "and give each mother a half." One of the women fell silent suddenly, her expression cold, unshakable. The other, however, screamed with a genuine pain that echoed off the courtroom walls. "No, give her the child, just do not kill him." And then I knew, and the people knew, and the story spread like oil on water, reaching every corner of the kingdom. That was the beginning of my reputation, but not the end of my journey. The truth no one tells you is that wisdom comes with a weight. The more you know, the more you grieve. The richer you become, the more vultures circle your skies, waiting for an opportunity. I built the temple of the Lord. I saw gold flow like rivers through my city. I had ships returning with ivory, apes, and spices from distant lands. Kings and queens traveled for months just to sit at my table and hear my voice. And yet, late at night, I would lie awake and wonder, is this what I asked for? Because here's the secret no scroll will tell you. Riches without purpose are a prison dressed in silk. They trap you in an endless cycle of worries and emptiness. So I began to write proverbs, parables, lessons carved from the rough stone of experience. I taught that a lazy man is a brother to a destroyer, that a soft answer turns away wrath, that he who walks with the wise will be wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm. But did they really listen? Do they listen now? There was a woman, many women, in fact, and not all of them worshiped the God of Israel. Some brought idols into my chambers, and slowly, like ink spreading in water, their influence began to cloud what was once pure. You don't become poor when you lose money. You become poor when you lose clarity, direction. One night, as I looked at the same stars that once whispered promises, I felt a different kind of silence. It wasn't peace, it was emptiness. The fire that once surrounded me now flickered, and I knew I had drifted. So I returned to the beginning. I took off the crown, not from my head, but from my heart. And I remembered the prayer of a young man who wanted nothing more than to understand the world. So, if you seek wealth, do not ask for gold. Ask for wisdom, because wisdom, true wisdom, is the only currency that never loses its value. It buys peace, it builds legacies, it cannot be stolen or taxed, and when it fills your soul, the riches of the world will come, not as masters, but as servants. That is how I, the son of David, became the richest man who ever lived. And that, my friend, is the secret God gave me. If this story touched you and made you think, imagine what you can learn from the wisdom that built an empire. The Salon Code channel is the place where wisdom meets innovation. There you'll find the secrets to building not just a salon, but a legacy. Subscribe now to Salon Code and start multiplying your wisdom so that your wealth can grow infinitely. Your empire begins with one click.